Hello everyone. Someone posted this article in my Facebook group a few days ago, and I was surprised about how many people had never seen it before. So I want to read it to you. This was an early interview with Candus, mother of Summer Wells, and it was published in the Rogersville Review back on the 21st of July 2021. So Summer had only been missing a month when this was written. And this was Candus having an interview with Jim Bella, the staff writer at the Rogersville Review. I'll put the link to this in the description box, but people in Europe cannot see the Rogersville Review. It will just block you unless you have a VPN. So I'll copy the text and put that in the description box so that you can read it for yourself if you would like to. But I'm just going to read it to you. So this is the last known picture of Summer Wells. That's the famous milk jugs photo that we all know and many people have speculated about. So here's the article. If you took her, just bring her back. You don't even have to tell me that you did it. Just bring her back. Say that you found her walking. I don't care. Just bring her back. That's all I care. So pleaded Candus Wells late Sunday afternoon in regards to her 5-year-old daughter Summer, who went missing 5 weeks ago, seemingly vanishing within 5 minutes of last being seen. I don't understand it, the child's mother said. It don't make no sense. Candus recalled June 15th, the day Summer disappeared. Candus's mother, also named Candus but who's nicknamed Candy, needed to see a doctor in Kingsport about her aching knee. We went to Gatlinburg, and the boys accidentally kept tripping over her sore knee, Candus said. She had an artificial knee replaced, and if you twist it the wrong way, it pops out and it hurts really bad. And she couldn't figure out why it wouldn't stop hurting after a while, so I took her to the ER that morning. After taking Candy to Holston Valley, Candus and Summer went to visit some family friends in Kingsport. They invited me over to sit at their house while I waited for my mom to get done so we weren't sitting in the hot truck. So I went over there, Candus said. I was sitting and Mom called me to come and get her, said Candus, adding that the 15-year-old son of her friend asked to go along. I went and picked her up and we drove all the way across town and dropped her prescription off. They said it'd be about 30 minutes at the most. So we were like, well, instead of sitting here in the car where it's hot, it was baking hot, we'll just go to Warriors and let Summer swim for a little bit. Like I said, we weren't even planning on going swimming or fishing or anything, Candus said. So they went to Warriors Path State Park and let Summer and the boy swim in the cove just south of the park's horse stables. I figured it 15 to 20 minutes in the water, run a little bit of energy out instead of sitting in the truck, Candus said. One of the last videos shot of Summer before her disappearance is of her swimming in that cove. There has been much speculation on social media about what happened next. According to accounts, Summer went underwater and the boy dove in to save her. Candus said it didn't happen. In the video, Summer is seen splashing in the lake, then stands up to reveal it's only about waist deep. The boy lied on everything that happened, Candus said, because the place I was at, there was no rocks. She didn't slide on no rocks and fall in the water. She wasn't under the water for 20 seconds or more, like he said. That was just a bunch of lies he made up. I don't know why he did that. There was no incident at all. That don't even make no sense why he would say that. And the video that I took is that same exact time that they were in the water playing, Candus said. If Summer had fallen, she'd jump right back up. That's what don't make sense to me, at all. There's so many rumours and lies going about, none of it even makes sense. Couch police, that's what I call them. After the swim, it was back across Fort Henry Drive to Walgreens, and then a quick stop at a grocery store. We went back and picked up my mom's prescription and went to Priceless. I dropped off the boy after Priceless and we came home. And then me and my mom, the boys were in watching YouTube like they always do. My mom said, let's rearrange and plant the flowers. She goes, well, we know the boys aren't going to help us. I know Summer will. So I yelled for Summer. She was in the house with the boys. She comes out and she was planting flowers with us, Candus said. The flowers were put in planters next to Grandma Candy's camper, with Summer handling some of the tasks, Candus said. She put all the rocks on top, put Chase in there. She did all the rocks herself. We went into Grandmother's after we were done. She asked Grandma for a piece of candy. Grandma gave her a piece of candy. She wanted to go back over with her brothers, so I literally walked her halfway between the camper and the house, Candus said. I watched her go in the door, and I could see her brothers at the kitchen table. When she went in, I walked over and yelled at the boys. I said, "Watch Summer, I'll be right back. I've got to fix Mom's knee brace." I was standing right there at the camper. I was over there fixing it. Literally, you can see my house from the camper door. She did not walk back out of that front door. Candus estimated it took maybe 2 to 5 minutes to fix Mom's brace. When I got done, I come back in. I asked the boys, "Where's your sister?" They said she went downstairs to play with her toys, Mom. I said, "Okay," and I went and I hollered down the steps. I always holler for them down there. She didn't holler back. I said, "Are you sure she's down there?" They said, "Yeah, she just went down there." So I went down there and I searched. I looked everywhere I could. Then I went through the house and I kept calling for her, yelling for her, everything. I came out here, outside, yelling for her and everything else, and she was nowhere. And I called Don because I was freaking out, Candus said. Don, Summer's father, was installing drywall at a job site at Jonesboro. I said, "I can't find Summer. Get home now," Candus recalled. He was like, "Call 911. So I dropped my phone because I had to run over to get Mom's phone to dial 911 because her AT&T phone is the only one that works out here to call 911. So I called them and told them what's going on. Before the cops even came out, I went down and told my neighbours, "Summer is missing. Will you help me look?" Just in case she did wander off. But I knew in the back of my mind she never wandered off. She never went nowhere without me. She'll ask me to do something before she even goes and does it. And she's scared to go in the woods herself because we've told her time and time again because of the bears and snakes, Candus said. I sent the older boys down through the creek. If they've got a walkie-talkie and their book knife, they can go down through there. I sent them all searching, and I went out in my mom's truck and went all the way down by the church, then went all the way down the other way, and I didn't see nobody even out and about, Candus said. Then I went all the way back in the holler as far as the truck can go, and I didn't see nothing back there either. When I was coming back up out of the holler, the cops were coming up my driveway, so I just followed them up in here. I don't recall if Don was here before the police got here or if he was here at the same time they showed up, Candus said. We searched everywhere we could possibly search. They were out here for 3 or 4 days straight searching 5,000 square acres. They've searched all the mountain terrain all the way up through here. They've busted my shed down there and destroyed it, she said. What really gets me is when they're searching for her, why didn't they make the neighbours let them go in their sheds and buildings and stuff? Why didn't they make them unlock it? Some people were like, "No, you can't search my property." Why would you do that? There's a missing kid. Why would you not let them search? It just don't make no sense, said Candus, who grew frustrated at times with the searchers. They looked in every vehicle I had, underneath every vehicle I had. They opened the tote right there, and all that's got in it is a bunch of crafts and stuff. You couldn't even fit nobody in that if you wanted to. They opened that like 7 times. They even went so small to look in my mum's sewer tank of her camper. That's the whole like an inch diameter circle, Candus gestured with her thumb and index finger. How do you get a 4-foot baby in that hole, she said. Candus said she thought the police canines would have had better success if she'd been notified to corral the family's 8 dogs. They'd just done some stupid underhand stuff. When they brought the cadaver dogs up, why didn't they warn me ahead of time to find a place for these dogs to go? They just brought them up. Oh, you got dogs. You guys already knew I had dogs. That didn't pan out because you've got these 8 adult dogs wanting to smell all these new dogs you've just brought up on my property. So that's going to mess up the cadaver dogs because it's not going to know which way to go, Candus said. Summer's mother also expressed frustration with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. TBI kept questioning me. They asked me the same thing, wanting me to run through my whole timeline of my day. They did that 4 or 5 times. I'm like, you guys don't get it. If I was gonna lie, I would have to think about it. It just comes out. I don't have to sit here and think about what I did. I know what I did. I just spit it out to you like 20,000 times, Candus said. A liar has to think something up. I passed my polygraph test and everybody is like, oh, you failed. No, I didn't fail. The first time I did it, I couldn't really do it with me because they threw me in the back of a squad car like I did something wrong and hauled me up there. I was already distressed over Summer being missing and then they did that to me. So that just made more fuel to the fire and made me more upset. So by the time I got there, I was crying and shaking and just couldn't do it, Candus said. So they told me they'd give me a few days to calm down and get some sleep and stay off your phone because that's the worst thing you can do is be on your phone. And so I did that and then I passed. It's not like I failed anything. People are like, oh, she failed. No, I didn't fail. The only people that had to do it were me, Donnie and Mom. All 3 of us passed. They took the boys to a different place, somewhere over by Greenville somewhere. A child advocate or something like that talked to the boys. The boys pretty much told them exactly what I told them. And I didn't even talk to the boys, Candus said. All the boys had to recall was Summer coming in the house and going downstairs. Because they get so hooked on watching YouTube, they watch Minecraft videos on YouTube. I'm like, don't you guys ever get bored with that, Candus said. They took my TV because it's hooked up to my Wi-Fi. Like they're going to find something on my TV. It's like they're digging for nothing. They're grasping at straws and not really trying. Everything they did to me was backwards. They didn't even shut down none of the roads until the next day. I mean, anybody could have been in and out of here, gone by the time they got down here. It takes them a good 40 minutes to get from Rogersville out here, she said, adding that there had been any recent contact from law enforcement. I haven't even spoke to them in like 2 weeks. You think they'd at least tell me, update me on something. But they don't even update me on nothing. I asked them to go check all the barns and sheds that have been out here for years that anybody could be in, Candus said. I tried to get them to go check out this guy who was trying to camp out here and trying to take over my neighbour's property. They were like, oh yeah, we checked him out. It's like they don't even really care if they find her or not. That's what it seems to me, because we're poor, I guess. I guess if we had lots of money, they'd do better work, I guess. That's the way I look at it. I don't know, for some reason TBI don't believe she was abducted, Candus said. That's what don't make sense to me, because she's not here. She don't just disappear. I mean, I've seen movies where people just start vanishing off Earth. But, you know, them are so fake. But somebody had to have seen her. That's the only conclusion I could come to. She had to have either somebody snuck in the basement or she walked out the back. She'll come out the basement and walk round the house to her swing. She always did that. She never wandered ever away from here. She never went down out of this yard at all, Candus said. Neither the basement door nor the lower half of the driveway loop is visible from the area between Candy's camper and the Wells home. The slope of the hill is too great and the house blocks the view. To compound matters, although there are 8 dogs on the property, they don't bark much. Candus was asked if they were good watchdogs. Hell no, she replied. They're lazy. Anybody that came up here that could have took her, could have fed the dogs down there, at the lower part of the yard. These dogs are so friendly and love everybody. They don't know strangers. Indeed, contrary to expectations, the dog greeted this reporter like a known friend and hardly barked during the hour plus on the property. As the hours ticked by, more and more days passed. Candus can only wonder. Everything goes through my mind, she said. You go about the what-ifs. What if you did this? What if you did that? There's just all kinds of crap that goes through your mind. I didn't even know how close that we even live to these freaking sex offender people. There's literally one that could walk to my house in 8 minutes. I didn't even know they existed this close to my house. I don't believe anybody anymore. I've gotten to the point where I can't trust nobody because everybody I talk to either twists my words around or they do something, they put out more lies. And it's making it worse and harder on TBI to even find her, Candus said, adding that the stress is affecting her 3 sons as well. I won't let these boys outside if I'm not here. I try to take them out of here so that they can get their minds off it. In the summer, that's all I do with the kids because it's summertime. They're not at school, so here's a chance when they're not at school, they get to enjoy themselves. When we go, I smile for the kids, but I'm not having no fun. I'll get in the water with them, but that don't mean I'm having fun, Candus said, of the constant knowledge that Summer is missing. If you look at all the pictures, she was always smiling. They're always happy kids. I mean, they'll get into fights because that's what brothers do. But other than that, they're always happy, no matter what they're doing. Wyatt tells me, Mom, I feel like if I went downstairs and played with Summer when she asked, she'd still be here. I said, you can't blame yourself, son. I said, nobody knows what the next day is going to hold. They smile to put on a good show, but other than that, I know they're really upset. They ask me every day, is Summer coming home today? I can't answer that. I don't know. I find myself sitting out here till midnight or 1 o'clock at night, just hoping maybe that whoever took her or whatever happened, she'll come wandering back up the driveway to us, Candus said. And that's it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I've been Michelle. I hope you're well, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye, guys.